Chosen one, what you are about to hear may completely transform the way you see your body, your soul, and the time you are living in. This message is not ordinary, it is a sign. And if it has reached you now, it's not by chance. It's because heaven has decided to reveal something to you that few are prepared to receive. A spiritual youth is being poured out upon your life, and it comes straight from the heart of God. We are not talking only about physical appearance. We are talking about a renewal so deep, so powerful, and so supernatural that even your emotional and spiritual structure will begin to shine in a way that will be impossible to ignore. Something sacred is happening inside of you, and it will soon become visible on the outside. Have you felt lately that time is speeding up, that subtle changes are taking place in your body, in your energy, in the way people look at you? Maybe you haven't been able to name it until now, but what you're feeling is real. It is the activation of a youth that doesn't come from creams or surgeries, it comes from glory. It is God Himself restoring the radiance in you. You were led here for a purpose, to receive confirmation that the transformation that has already begun is not a product of your imagination, it is a divine operation. And it will be so intense that those who live with you won't be able to explain what happened. They will say that you look lighter, more beautiful, more vibrant, but only you will know it was God who touched you. This is the beginning of a new cycle, a cycle in which the weight of the years will be replaced by the lightness of His presence, in which the fatigue of the past will be exchanged for a vitality that the world cannot offer. And this youth will not be temporary. It will be the living testimony that God still transforms completely. If this word sparks something in you, comment now. I am ready to live the divine youth God has promised me. This comment is not just a phrase, it is a key. It is a spiritual response to what is being released over your life. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now. Because what you're about to live requires spiritual direction, and here, with each message, heaven will remind you of who you are. Chosen one, being chosen by God, does not simply mean carrying a spiritual calling. It means becoming a living reflection of His presence in everything you are, including what the world sees. When God chooses someone, He doesn't just point out a path, He transforms that person entirely. And this transformation, though it begins invisibly, soon becomes evident to everyone's eyes. The glow of the chosen one is not forced, not manufactured, not the result of vanity. It is the consequence of an indwelling presence, a glory that manifests. As the days pass, this glow begins to spill from the eyes, the smile, the way one walks, the way one speaks, and people feel it. Even if they don't understand it, even if they can't explain it, they notice something different, something sacred, something that cannot be touched, but also cannot be ignored. You who are receiving this message know exactly what this is. You've already begun to notice the difference in the mirror, in your posture, in your lightness. You've realized that what once aged you, the weight, the pain, the frustrations, is now being replaced by a peace that renews you, by an energy that flows without explanation. It is God working in you. It's not just spiritual, it's emotional, it's physical. And all of this has nothing to do with age, it has to do with origin. The origin of this youth does not lie in external treatments, but in the eternal presence of a God who touches from within and transforms from the outside out. When He renews, it's not only the soul that shines. The body responds, the eyes change, the atmosphere transforms. The glow that now begins to manifest in you is a reflection of divine choosing. It did not come from the world, it does not depend on the opinion of others, and it does not fade with time, because it was God who lit it. And that is why, even without effort, you begin to be noticed. People look at you differently. Some draw near wanting to know your secret. Others distance themselves, unsettled by a light they cannot explain. But you feel it. It's God showing the world that when He chooses someone, He also clothes that person with a visible testimony. Your face, your energy, your presence, everything begins to carry the weight of glory. And this is not for your vanity, it's so that all may know that something is happening, something greater, something eternal. The transformation that God performs in the life of a chosen one is never partial. When He works, He touches every dimension of being: spirit, soul, and body. What is happening with you is not just an emotional or spiritual renewal. It's physical, it's visible, it's perceptible. God is even renewing your body as a way to manifest His glory on earth. And this is not something symbolic or poetic, it is real. Your body is beginning to respond to what your spirit has already received. Your skin, your eyes, your posture, your energy, everything begins to reflect the sacred touch you have received. It's not just beauty, it's vitality, it's lightness. It's life being restored by the hands of the Creator. Maybe you've noticed how the fatigue that once followed you has begun to disappear, how your mind is sharper, how your expression seems different, more firm, more radiant, more light. This is the work of God. It's the fulfillment of a silent promise that had been forming within you for a long time. When He decides to reveal a chosen one, He doesn't allow their appearance to continue carrying the weight of old battles. On the contrary, He restores, He cleanses. He returns the dignity that was lost in the deserts you walked through. And more than that, He turns you into a living testimony that His presence is capable of renewing, even what time tried to wear down. You are not just rejuvenating on the outside, you are being reborn from the inside. And this rebirth brings signs. Your face begins to express peace. Your energy begins to attract people. Your voice becomes stronger, gentler, more impactful. The presence of God in you becomes a living force, and that force manifests in everything. It's not vanity, it's not ego, it's glory. It's purpose. It's heaven placing in you a reflection of eternity. And those who once saw you weary, tired, drained, will now see someone revived, confident, present. Not because you made some human effort to look better, but because God decided it was time to show the world who you really are and what He is doing in your life. This youth being reborn in you is not just a personal benefit. It is a spiritual signature. It is the visible seal that God is with you. And where He is, there is renewal, there is beauty, there is life. You may not fully realize it yet, but your presence is already changing the atmosphere around you. People who used to overlook you are now turning to look, intrigued, sensing something they can't explain. And it's not just physical. It's a different kind of beauty, one you can't learn, you can't buy, and you can't create through human effort. It's spiritual beauty. It's the light born from within you that's beginning to shape your outer appearance as well. When the Spirit of God begins to dwell freely in someone, everything changes, including the way the world sees that person. There is a kind of glow that doesn't fade with age, a kind of grace that isn't lost in the storms, a kind of elegance that doesn't depend on makeup, clothing, or appearances. And that kind of beauty comes from heaven. What God is doing in you goes beyond the common idea of youth or physical beauty. It's transformation, it's reconstruction, it's identity. Your new appearance isn't just the result of genetics or chance. It's the visible reflection of healing, restoration, and the divine presence operating within you. That glow beginning to take shape in your eyes, that air of peace you carry even in the midst of chaos, that new posture you didn't even know you had. All of this is evidence. It's living proof. It's a visible sign that God is imprinting the beauty of purpose in every detail of your being. And those who once judged your appearance, who looked at you with disdain or even superiority, will now come face to face with something they cannot ignore: the favor of God sculpted in your image. You don't need to explain it, you don't need to justify it. Just keep allowing the Spirit to work, because the more you align with His will, the more visible your presence becomes. The clearer your light shines, and the more impossible your beauty becomes to ignore. If you feel that this spiritual beauty has already begun to emerge within you, comment in faith: the glory of God is shaping my image. When God enters an atmosphere, nothing remains the same. And when He enters a body, a soul, a story, He transforms even what seemed irrelevant in human eyes. The glow you've started to carry is not limited to your eyes or your face. It flows down to your shoulders, it shapes your posture, it reflects in the way you occupy your space. Have you noticed it yet? Have you seen how you walk differently now? How your presence stands firmer, yet without arrogance? That is the reflection of God's presence adjusting even how you position yourself in the world. Before, perhaps you walked with your head down, not just physically, but spiritually, life, pressure, pain, humiliation, all of it shaped you downward. But now, heaven is lifting you up. Your body is responding to the lightness your spirit is beginning to experience. Your spine aligns, your head lifts, your steps become steady, and even if your circumstances haven't changed around you, something inside you has already risen, and that is becoming visible on the outside. The posture of the chosen is not rehearsed, it's natural. It's the result of someone who knows who they are, someone who recognizes their value in the eyes of the Creator, someone who has stripped off human opinions and clothed themselves with divine purpose. And when that posture changes, it doesn't go unnoticed. People start looking at you differently. They feel security. They feel authority. They feel the weight of God's presence before you even say a word. And it's not pride, it's truth. This new way of walking, of looking, of standing in your space is not just physical, it's spiritual. It's the result of the Holy Spirit dwelling within. When He begins to rule your life, you stop shrinking to fit into places where you were never called. You stop lowering your head before those who try to humiliate you. You learn to walk with your body lifted and your heart surrendered. And that is rare. It is powerful. It is visible. Those around you will notice. The looks will change. The comments will come. But don't be confused. This is not about you, it's about what God is doing through you. There comes a moment in the spiritual journey when the inner transformation becomes impossible to hide. And that is exactly where you are now. What is happening in your life is not just a better time or a positive phase, it is the birth of a new creation. You're not just changing, you are being recreated. And this recreation is deep, complete, and visible. Everything in you is being shaped to express what God has always seen, even when no one else could. People around you are starting to notice it, even if they don't understand it. They look at you and see someone who no longer carries the same signs of heaviness, sorrow, or guilt. And that intrigues them, inspires them, and sometimes even unsettles them, because who you are becoming is exactly what many no longer believed was possible. You are living proof that God still renews, that He still makes new what the world had already discarded. And this transformation is not being built by human effort. You're not trying to appear as something you're not. On the contrary, the more you surrender to God's process, the more natural it all becomes. Your voice carries more firmness. Your expression radiates more peace. Your spirit reflects more truth, and your body responds with energy, beauty, and posture. You begin to inspire effortlessly, to encourage simply by existing, because the light within you doesn't come from vanity, it comes from intimacy. This new version being born in you has a divine origin and is not emerging to impress others, but to fulfill a purpose that requires lightness, courage, and presence. God is preparing you not just to experience something great, but to become someone who carries greatness even in silence. And those who live with you will feel it. They will notice, admire, and many of them will be awakened by your transformation. You are a testimony in the making. And what is being built within you now will be visible not only to those who believe, but also to those who once rejected you. This new creation is more than appearance. It is a restored, strong, and unmistakable identity. Every true transformation begins with a change of identity. And when God decides to intervene in the life of a chosen one, He doesn't just heal wounds or improve isolated aspects, He reveals who that person has always been in the spirit. That's what is happening with you now. God is repositioning you not only before the world, but before yourself. He is showing you who you truly are. And this new identity is not new to God, it's new to you. For a long time, you saw yourself through distorted lenses. The criticism you heard, the fears you carried, the mistakes you made, the traumas that marked your path. All of it helped build a limited, fragile image, one far from the purpose heaven had always reserved for you. But now, everything is changing. The light being born in you is allowing you to see yourself with new eyes. Not with pride, but with clarity. Not with vanity, but with awareness. You are beginning to recognize yourself in the mirror of God's will. This new identity is not based on what you do, but on who you are. It does not come from titles, positions, or others' validation. It comes from above. From the moment when God says, "I know you by name, and now's the time for you to remember who you have always been in me." That spiritual remembrance is what's generating so much change. You are coming home. You are returning to yourself. You are reconnecting with the version of you that was never corrupted, never defeated by wounds, never stopped carrying heaven's essence. And the most beautiful part is that this identity begins to overflow. People will notice. They won't be able to explain it, but they will feel it. They'll say, you seem more confident, more grounded, more present. And they'll be right, because now you know who you are. And when someone discovers their true identity in God, nothing can imprison, confuse, or diminish them anymore. Doubt falls silent. Comparison loses power. Fear loses space. You are walking with your feet on the ground, but your eyes fixed on purpose. And that is the posture of someone who has been repositioned. You are not trying to become someone, you are finally being who God has called you to be. Every rebirth requires a rupture. And as glorious as God's promise may be, the path to it always passes through loss. Not because God wants to punish or empty you, but because He needs to remove what no longer fits the new version that is emerging within you. There are cycles that must be closed. There are bonds that, although they made sense in the past, can no longer sustain the weight of who you are becoming. That's why, lately, you've been experiencing distancing, silences, unexpected disconnections. People who used to be constantly present have started to drift away. Environments that once welcomed you with enthusiasm no longer make sense. And all of this may have seemed like rejection, but the truth is, it was preservation. God is pruning the tree that He Himself is causing to grow. Because in order to bear lasting fruit, there must first be cutting, and the cutting, inevitably, hurts. This pain of detachment is not easy. It stirs up memories, affections, dependencies. It brings longing, doubt, and sometimes even guilt. But God is not taking from you. He is setting you free. He is severing connections that kept you tied to an outdated identity. He is leading you down a path where only what is eternal can remain. And this includes people, habits, thought patterns. He is emptying you to fill you with something new. Do not resist what is leaving. Do not hold on to what heaven has already decided to close. What feels like loss now will one day be seen as deliverance. And when you look back, you'll understand everything that hurt was essential. The pruning prepared you to bloom. The silence taught you to hear God's voice. The absence of some brought you closer to the presence of the One, and He is the only one who will never leave you. You are being shaped by an invisible yet eternal process. And what comes after this pain is not emptiness, it is fullness. As your transformation becomes more visible, you begin to notice something curious. Not everyone celebrates your change. In fact, the more you shine, the more discomfort begins to arise around you. People who once accepted you easily now act cold. Those who once walked closely with you suddenly distance themselves without explanation. And many times, the ones who should be supporting you are the very ones questioning you. But make no mistake, this is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's proof that your light is disturbing spaces that have grown comfortable in darkness. Spiritual growth reveals. It reveals intentions, reveals alliances, reveals who was by your side out of purpose and who was there merely out of convenience. When God begins to awaken your true identity, the world around you starts to react, and that reaction is not always kind. The light now shining on you exposes what many prefer to keep hidden, and so the discomfort shows up in the form of criticism, judgment, sarcasm, distance. But the problem was never you. The problem is what you carry. You carry a presence that cannot be manipulated, an essence that does not bow to superficiality, a truth that does not fit into fragile narratives. And all of that confronts your very existence, without even speaking, is calling into question the stagnation of many. And for that reason, they resist, they react. They try to put you back into your old mold. They try to convince you that you're moving too fast, changing too much, becoming different. And do you know what all that really means? That you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Resistance is confirmation. If what you carried were common, the world would applaud. But since it is eternal, the world tries to silence it. But it's already too late. The transformation in you can no longer be hidden. And even those who now reject your light will one day see and acknowledge that what God is doing in your life is real, deep, and undeniable. Keep going. Do not retreat. Do not justify yourself. Those who are called to illuminate have no obligation to fit in the dark. What God is doing in your life is not hidden, it's not symbolic, it's not discreet. It is real, visible, and undeniable. The transformation that is taking place within you carries a heavenly signature, and because of that, it cannot be interrupted or disguised. What was once internal is now beginning to manifest before the eyes of those who doubted, ignored, or even mocked you. You, chosen one, are becoming a living miracle, and that miracle will be noticed. The way you walk, smile, interact, carry yourself, everything will begin to carry an intensity that will not come from human effort, but from divine presence. People will look at you and feel that something supernatural is happening, and even if they can't name it, they'll perceive this person is no longer the same. There's a glow in the eyes. There's a strength in the posture. There's a clarity in the gaze. There is heaven being reflected on earth, and this will not be for vanity. It will be for testimony. Your life will be used by God as a display of transformation. A before and after that will inspire, awaken, and shake everyone nearby. And many who didn't value you during the process will be silenced by the revealed version. You are being positioned by God to inspire not through words, but through your existence. You were chosen to carry a youth that never fades, a glow that never dims, a strength that doesn't come from the world. And your mission now is not to try to explain yourself. Your mission is to live boldly everything heaven has entrusted to you. Everything in you is being refined, your body, your soul, your spirit. The ordinary no longer fits you. The past no longer holds power over you. Now is the time of display, the time when what was once invisible will be celebrated as evidence. And if you feel that this message reached you with precision, that it confirms something God was already whispering in your spirit, comment now below. I am the miracle God is revealing. This comment is your spiritual response, a seal, a mark, a declaration of your position. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now. Because this was just one part of what heaven still wants to deliver to you. And the upcoming messages will continue opening your eyes to who you truly are. Chosen one, if you've made it this far, know this is no coincidence. All of heaven moved so that this message would find your spirit at this exact moment. You are being revealed now because the world needs your light.